about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, which I know it's a bunch of you people that are, it's your first time joining us, whether you're on YouTube, 100.1 FM, or, Facebook Live or Twitter. We appreciate you hanging out with us on your Saturday morning. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
Yeah.
What's up, Q?
Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Okay. All right.
Is that weird? Like starting off serenading you?
It is. It really is. It's kind of weird. Broderick's like, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Yeah. Lots been happening this week, man. How was your week?
It was good, man. It was kind of slow because I did a lot of manual labor this week at the crib.
Okay.
Homeowner stuff.
Yeah.
I know you familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that that's passed,
does it make you feel like an adult?
Oh, and also, Broderick didn't tell me that he's the king of the jungle.
You didn't know
with all these cats.
Oh,
so I had
that's his fault.
Crazy allergic reaction going to his crib.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I vividly
wait. Slow down. You've got to alert people.
What's that?
That you have cats. Like that you got animal, like not only cats, but like, hey, I got a dog. I just want you to know I got a dog.
Yeah, I vividly remember it was like one of the first meetings I was in for the show. Q heard my cats meow and he said, "Oh, you have cats?" I was like, "Yeah, I have two."
Oh, well, clearly I forgot.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I know whose house I won't be going to." I remember him saying that. And I was like, "Yeah, I have cats." So now he's alerted.
Well, yeah.
That was during COVID time when we were just online,
that was 3 years ago.
Right. I don't know, man.
But no, I walked in this house and I could just feel my lungs already
collapsing,
set ablaze.
You got an EpiPen ready?
Hey, I almost needed it, but
I hope you got one.
But yeah, I survived.
Yeah. So from here on out, anybody comes to Broderick's house, hey, he has cats.
Yes,
got two of them, bro, and they be shedding. So that's on you.
We got a lot to talk about today. Super Bowl rematch. I know you're happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Chiefs, Eagles, Monday Night Football. We'll dive into that. Also, Deshaun Watson. I know there's some Cleveland Browns fans, also some Deshaun Watson fans that tune in every week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about his
you got those
demise.
Who's the Deshaun Watson fan? Is it Mike?
Yeah, who? I got a question.
Q-Day. He like,
He's a Deshaun Watson fan. That's right.
He is, and some other Cleveland people that I like to troll on weekly on just some random Twitter banter or X banter, whatever you want to call it.
It's Twitter.
It's still
It's
Twitter.
still Twitter. Okay,
Twitter.
Cool. Draymond Green suspended for 5 games.
Yeah.
We'll dive into that because Draymond, he's
psychopath.
We'll call it that.
Broderick called him a psychopath for those listening.
And then Johnny Manziel, he offers to help Texas A&M in any capacity. And then we have some Ring doorbell surveillance of Kelly Oubre, who said he got hit by a car this week.
Yeah, that was weird.
We'll talk about that and more, and we'll have our sneakers of the week coming up in about 30 minutes. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
So, in what's been coined as a Super Bowl rematch, the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in a couple of days on MNF or Monday Night Football, whatever you want to call it. it's been 9 months since the Super Bowl, and we've seen both teams throughout the season. Throughout, I think what is this, week 10? Yeah, throughout the first 10 weeks of the season. Q, has much changed between either team? We'll start with the Eagles first. Since Super Bowl 57.
I mean, plenty has changed with the Eagles. They lost both of their coordinators, which the defensive coordinator probably shouldn't have gotten a job so fast. And I haven't done an update on because he's in Arizona or something, somewhere. But they have changes as an offense. Both offenses are not as high powered as they were. The Eagles still fare well. I think they have arguably the top receiver in the league.
Okay.
So that helps having depth as far as in the wide receiver room. And then I think the Chiefs are almost opposite of that. Okay. They've kind of piecemealed their offensive game plan together for the year. But I still think it's going to be a good game. I feel like the Eagles will win. I don't think it'll be a blowout.
Okay.
But I think the Chiefs have a tough time with the defense because Philly's defense is kind of rolling right now. So.
Okay. I feel the same. Well, since we're starting with the Eagles, I feel like the changes I've seen with them is the fact that I don't think they have the continuity that they had last year.
Yes.
We talked about the coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinators. I just don't think that they have the continuity that they had. However, so much has been talked about the tush push, the short yardage plays. I think that's what killed the Chiefs last year. Just going back and looking at it. Jalen Hurts also, I think, ran the ball 10 times in that game. And I feel like they took the ball out of his hands a little bit. Also, you got to look at, you have A.J. Brown. You have the receivers that they have, some guys that are pretty fast and they can also catch.
Definitely.
I don't think that's changed at all. I don't think his connection between just those receivers has changed. But when you look at just the Eagles as a whole, I do believe that they're coming into this game, and a lot of them, I watched some of their press conferences this week and their interviews, and they just talked about, hey, the ring is already gone. Like we can't, we're not playing for the ring. We're playing of last year. We're playing to get to that point this year. So we're not worried about that. But then I do believe that it's more riding on the Eagles than it is the Chiefs. Look, they've already beaten them. They've beat. So the Eagles, it's like, all right, we've got to slay the dragon, if that makes sense. So I think there's more riding on the Eagles winning this game than there is the Chiefs.
No, definitely. And then with them, having the best record in the league right now, you want to hold on to that.
Of course. Of course.
I think if they win this game, they'll have one more before they're, the definitive number one team over the full NFC in the conference. So yeah, it's definitely a lot riding on it. It's an away game. It's a prime time game, and it's one of those games where you have to live up to the hype. And that's for both teams.
Yeah.
The Chiefs defense is rolling right now. It's flashes of I think it was the 93 or 94 team.
Yeah, Derek Thomas, Neil Smith, Dale Carter. They had Duran, all those guys on that team, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so I think they have a chance to really make a statement. The Chiefs defense, the last couple of seasons, they didn't really put it together until the final few weeks of the season, especially in the second half of the season. And that's where we're at right now. We're past the second, we're well into the second half of the season. And they have a lot to prove. I mean, because it's a lot on the table because, I mean, you have a depleted AFC right now.
Right.
Your biggest competition outside of Lamar Jackson, both Joe Burrow and Deshaun are gone for the season. So
I
it
can't.
kind of
Joe's not gone for the season. He just has a wrist sprain. But
Nah, he's out for the
is
season.
he out for the season?
yeah for the
He's out for the
season.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
they said it was like
I thought it was
broke.
He tore a ligament in his wrist.
Oh, it's a ligament. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought they said he had broke his wrist, but yeah, the AFC is wide open right now. I mean, I think the Chiefs already thought that they, were going to be the leaders in the AFC. And are they tops in the AFC right now?
The Chiefs are by one game.
By one
because
game?
of you think about the Ravens. They're right. I mean, they're right there. The Ravens are 8-3, but the Chiefs haven't played, their 8th game yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, or their next game yet. So, the Ravens have played 11 games and the Chiefs have only played 9.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're right there. If the Chiefs lose this game, then they'll be tied with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't play the Ravens this season, so they'll look at who they've their opponents.
And then I mean that can potentially be,
and then about Dolphins are right there too.
Yeah, the Dolphins are right there, but I think that Germany won took a lot of wind out of their sails. Well, the loss in Germany to the Chiefs, I think that took a lot of wind out of their sails. They could possibly get a resurgence, but I don't think the Dolphins are ready for that upper echelon of the AFC. Starting the season, I thought that.
Yeah.
Especially with Tyreek coming back, Jalen Waddle coming back, Tua getting back healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you had all the pieces in place, having that defense, but seeing how they struggled with the Chiefs, with a depleted Chiefs offense, and not being able to overcome, more than just a pass rush of the Chiefs defense. They just had a tough time with the Chiefs defense the whole day.
Yeah.
Looked very bad.
And that's I don't think they're ready for that next step yet. I think they're where Buffalo was around 2020.
Yep.
And something has to happen to get over that hump. I don't know if it's Tua, I don't know if it's their defense, I don't know if it's play calling, and whatever it is. They just have too much firepower to be sitting at 6-3. I mean, of course, they're at the top of the AFC East, but I mean, who wouldn't be on top of the AFC East?
And the crazy thing about it is you think about all these teams, and I mean, we talked about the Raiders. You think about the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets. We even look at the Patriots. All these teams, what are they missing? A quarterback.
But also,
but my point is, it just goes to show you how important. Like no matter if you got Tyreek Hill, no matter if you have Stephon Diggs, no matter if you have Jamar Chase, you got to have somebody to get him to rock. Like that just is what it is.
Well, I mean that, and then you also need a quarterback that can play smart. You need a quarterback that's not going to turn over the ball. And last year, Jalen Hurts did a good job of protecting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick somewhat, but now both of them have kind of like flipped that on the head. Both of them are having turnover problems this year. I mean, we really don't. We're in week 10 and we don't have a clear MVP for the season. I think around this point last year, it was either Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts.
Like, I mean, as of right now, you gotta look in Baltimore, man. All the heat that Lamar Jackson has taken the past couple years, he can't throw the football. He's not accurate. They'll never win with Lamar. Oh, he's looking for a new contract. Oh, he had a little injury that led into, I'm not going to play in this game. I'm not going to finish out the season. So all that stuff lingering over his head.
Yeah.
And then this year they're sitting here at 8-3, at the top of the AFC North. And it's like, man, Lamar's balling.
Yeah.
And the addition of OBJ, OBJ can't get it done. He's still injured. Now OBJ had over 100 yards last week?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Ravens, other than the Chiefs, I mean, you have to have them favored.
So who's more scary right now? And this may be a crazy question, but who's more scary between the Ravens and the Texans right now?
The Texans? Oh, Ravens and Texans? Ooh. I would say the Ravens because they know how they've had the experience and know how to win.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans, they have a young quarterback. It can go either way, right? Like he's having success in the league right now, but how long can he sustain that? You know, they still have an organization who's Texans fans. I'm sorry, but they're used to losing.
Yeah.
Right. They haven't had that success yet. And you talk about the wind out of sails. I think that happened when the Chiefs came back to beat the Houston Texans in the playoffs. If you remember that was the height of Deshaun Watson. I think that was also the end of Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans.
Yeah, that definitely was the end. But I mean, the Texans did have a lot of promise in that year. But yeah, that year I think it showed a lot of deficiencies. And you have teams like that. I think the Dolphins are that team this year. You have a team with a lot of promise, but you're sitting at 6-3, and you haven't beaten a team with the winning record since last season.
Yeah,
and that's, I mean, if you're going to talk about the best team, especially in the AFC East, that's glaring.
Yeah,
like that's super glaring, and I don't know. I just think the AFC is still a wide open contest. And then on top of that, the MVP race is not solidified from anybody yet. I don't think there's no front runner, but I think in these next probably 2 to 3 weeks, I think we start seeing some of the cream rise to the top. But I mean, who is that going to be? Because there's no Joe Burrow. There's hardly any competition right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at who the Ravens have coming up. Of course, they just beat the Bengals. Then they have the Chargers. They have a bye this week. Then they have the Chargers. Then they have the Rams. They're in LA. Then they're at home versus the Rams. Then they have Jacksonville. They have the 49ers. They have the Dolphins, and then Steelers. So, I mean,
they might drop one of those games.
Ooh, only one?
Only one.
I mean, I could see
if Lamar's still rolling, only one.
Oh, I could see the 49ers. I could see them losing to Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Not happening. Nope. Sorry.
In Jacksonville, and then
I'd have to
Dolphin, and then Miami
sucks.
and then Pittsburgh coming in as a spoiler.
Sucks.
Pittsburgh is possible. I can give you
that spoiler this year. That's all they can do.
But I really only see
like
one loss
6-3.
in the last 6 games.
Pittsburgh right up there.
Yeah.
Very nasty. Like they're right there with everybody.
Let me see. You got yeah.
Because I mean
it's open, like you said, but I think the front runners, Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens.
And if this was last year, I would probably say the Jaguars would be a scary team late in the season.
Yeah.
Calvin really sucks.
But yeah, I don't think they have that firepower this year. You talked about the continuity some teams have from season to season, and how Philly kind of lost that. I think the Jaguars kind of lost that spark that they had.
Yeah. All right. So outcome for Monday night's game. What do you got?
I mean, of course, the Eagles.
Of course, huh?
I think it's
of course.
I think the game, both teams will be in the 20s. I'd say like 29-21.
Okay.
Eagles.
29-21. I've got the Chiefs. It's gonna be raining. It's gonna be cold. If the rain holds off, I think the over-under is, I want to say it was 72, if I'm not mistaken.
72 points between teams?
I believe it's 72.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was 72. But, sheesh. Said it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I don't think so.
I would say 31-37.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is the game we see both of the defenses really kind of step up. And I think it just becomes those little small mistakes that both teams make, similar to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I don't think we see that high scoring of a game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Deshaun Watson. We talk about AFC teams. He's undergoing season-ending shoulder surgery. So the Cleveland Browns announced on Wednesday that Watson will undergo season-ending shoulder surgery to repair a broken bone in his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
Watson, he suffered the injury in the first half of Sunday's victory over the Ravens.
And then played through it.
And then, played through it. So the 28-year-old suffered a displaced fracture in his right glenoid in his right shoulder. Surgery expected to allow full recovery.
Yeah, I hate it for him. He was on the road to coming back. I think we saw flashes of greatness from him over the last like 2 or 3 weeks.
We did.
We saw the old Deshaun somewhat coming back, but I think this just really sets them back way more than they expected. But I mean, he's got 200 guaranteed, so
it's funny because every time we talk about that team, Deshaun Watson, they lose a game. Oh, he's got 200 million guaranteed, so it don't matter.
Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, any other quarterback in any other time would be worried,
right?
I mean, we could flip it on his head. Should Kirk Cousins be worried?
Yeah, he really should.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a league where the prototypical quarterback, and we've talked about this over the last 5 years, where the prototypical quarterback is dying. Not being able to be mobile. Your Joe Burrows, your Kirk Cousins.
Joe Burrow, not mobile?
Joe Burrow's definitely mobile.
Joey B?
Very mobile.
He's
very
mobile. He's mobile.
He's not going like
he's mobile.
Lamar Jackson.
When I'm talking about mobile, I'm talking about your Jalen Hurts. I'm talking about your Lamar Jacksons.
Those
Patrick
are one of
Mahomes.
one. We can't even throw Patrick in that list. Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson are by far top tier when you talk about being mobile.
Even if we really want to talk about
I mean, that's Patrick too. Patrick, his escapability in the pocket. You don't see.
He did say I'm faster than I look.
You don't see Joe Burrow ducking and dodging in the pocket like
this season, and that's only because
this season.
That's only because of his what did he hurt earlier this season? His knee, his calf.
But also, wasn't Joe Burrow like the highest sacked quarterback a season or two ago?
His offensive line is terrible.
Yeah, I give you the offensive line is terrible, but again, if you can't move,
yeah.
I mean,
thank goodness they got Orlando Brown. No disrespect to Orlando, but yeah.
No,
replacement
definitely.
ain't no better.
But I think what's tough about that is that in this game currently, and especially where we sit, the game is way too fast right now. I mean, you have players that have been developing since they were 2 and 3 years old, developing speed and strength, and they've done it their whole lives. And when you get to the NFL as a quarterback, you need to have some sort of athleticism. And I think Deshaun being able to come back, his athleticism not only carries him, but it's just another one of those strengths. Like, you can't have a quarterback that can't get away from these linebackers that's running 4-3s and 4-5s. You have to have somebody that can move around, avoid injury, because you don't want to get hit, really hard. And it's a different league when you talk about athleticism than what it was back then. Like, back then you could have a Troy Aikman and put all of these speedsters around him, and Troy Aikman doesn't have to run the ball. But now you have linebackers and sometimes now DNs that run a 4.5 40.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that's gonna have some agility to get away from that. And then when you don't, you start having these shoulders getting knocked out of place. And what did Kirk Cousins hurt? Was it? I can't remember.
Kirk Cousins was it his Achilles?
It was something.
It was his Achilles.
I think it's Achilles.
But it's tough injuries like that, and then coming back from that when you're not mobile yet. I mean, not mobile at all. I mean, look at Nambarino when he came back from Achilles injury, and he wasn't a mobile quarterback at all. But got a
good age too, though.
Kirk, and Kirk Cousins is up there.
Yeah, 30s.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but I don't think it's over for him. But I think his time in Minnesota might be dwindling down. So
yeah, we talk about time dwindling down. Draymond Green's time is maybe dwindling down in Golden State. Draymond's been suspended for 5 games for putting Rudy Gobert in a headlock. So Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, he's suspended for 5 games for forcibly grabbing Ruby and around the neck in Tuesday's game versus Minnesota Timberwolves. So the altercation broke out inside the opening 2 minutes. And I want to stress that the opening 2 minutes is like y'all woke up ready to squabble. And let's see what happened.
Working on Wiggins, little step back 3. And so we're scoreless. We'll stay 0-0 the first 2 minutes. And then look at Klay Thompson and McDaniels. What is going on with that? Wow. You've got a full-on fracas going on. Draymond came in to defend Klay. This got out of hand very quickly.
Look at Klay Thompson's jersey. It's ripped up. That's more than a scuffle.
We're going to have to go to replay and look at all of this, but Klay Thompson's never been involved in anything like that. What was Jaden McDaniels doing?
They were going at each other's heads. That was serious.
I mean, as you said, Klay's going to need a whole new jersey. Klay is as mild-mannered a player as we've ever seen.
They're just running down the floor, and they got tangled up. I want to see who initiated it first, though. Here's a look at it. So they're kind of coming together. Klay's boxing him out, puts his hand on his jersey. Jaden McDaniels puts his hand on his jersey. Now they're swinging each other around. Gobert gets in there. Draymond's got him in a headlock. There's a lot happening here.
Well, there were no punches thrown, which is good. In the NBA, it doesn't matter even if you make contact. If you swing at somebody, you're gone.
So look at him on the left side over here. Yeah, they just... Klay had his hand on him, trying to like box him out, and then they were swinging each other around. Every team has an enforcer. The Warriors have Draymond.
The reason Draymond went so demonstrably is that Gobert had Klay in a headlock.
Yeah.
And Draymond's not feeling that at all.
So he's just pulling him off. We're not doing that. This ain't that. Klay and McDaniels going at it here, and then all of a sudden Gobert comes in, and Draymond's like, no.
Yeah, it's
chill out.
And then Draymond.
I think, I mean, it's a lot to unpack here. When you look at the whole Draymond thing, you got to understand that. Well, let's start with the two fighting first. Klay. Like the announcer said, Klay doesn't really get into it. Like Klay, he'll get into going back and forth or whatever, but he never tries to put hands on people.
Is there any history between these two teams?
Between Minnesota and Golden State? Not really. I mean, Minnesota hasn't really been a force, for a while. You know, they're just like a little scrappy team, and you got Anthony Edwards. Of course, Rudy Gobert. We remember what happened with him during the COVID situation, and then some of the words that he's had, from other people, and then you see people talk on Twitter that Rudy Gobert deserved it, just stuff like that. But when you look at what happened with Draymond and Rudy Gobert, it's like Rudy went up to grab Klay. It's like he's not your teammate. You don't grab somebody that's not your teammate.
Nah, yeah.
And then that's when Draymond ran up. And so Draymond's getting a lot of the flack because of his past. Had Draymond, what was he supposed to do? Just run in there and just, break it up, guys. Break it up. No, he's going to run in there like the enforcer.
Yeah, we saw him punch his own teammate.
Exactly. Exactly. So you've got to stick with who you are.
Yeah. And I mean, Rudy Gobert just seems like he never reads the room.
There it is.
He's a guy that just never, and I mean, maybe it's because he's foreign, because isn't he French or English or something?
Yeah, but still, he know better. He's been playing basketball a long time.
Yeah, you've been playing, but sometimes there's cultural differences.
He's been in America a long time.
He's been here a long time. Yeah. But I mean, even the COVID thing, like touching all the mics and doing like all the extra with that.
Yeah.
Like that. He just doesn't read the room well. And sometimes you get those rude awakenings. Like, Rudy Gobert is becoming the butt of jokes. But I was wondering if there was some history between the two teams, because that seemed a little chippy.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and for it to not be a point scored yet, and you already like tugging and tearing jerseys and all that. Like, what is the play-in tournament that heated right now?
Yeah, I mean, you've got guys, and I heard Dame talk about this earlier this week. You've got guys that you got the top tier guys, and this is what Dame said. He's like, you got myself, you've got the other top guys on my squad, and we've all made our money. Like, we're making our money. But what about the guys on the bottom tier? He said that money can change lives. He said also for our coaches get a percentage of that. Like, so we're trying to go out there and win because it means that much to us to make sure that we're taking care of everybody else.
So you think this is what the NBA wants early in the season?
Yes, no doubt.
Okay.
They want not only these guys to not sit out, miss games, and they want the interest from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So by this, and this is what I said, a little side note, but this is what I've been talking about women's basketball. This is what they need. Some, not the theatrics, but just a little physicality to make people want to watch it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, NBA loves it, no matter what they're going to say. The scapegoat, I guess, is Draymond, but, that's what they want.
Yeah, and I mean, because Draymond doesn't have a governor on his antics.
No doubt. He's going to say what he wants and do what he wants.
Yeah, and that's going to be year round.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember a time where we saw the NBA this chippy early in the season, and it was teams that didn't have any history. Like, I'm thinking there's like the end of last season. I thought maybe Cat or somebody had some words with each other, but even still, for this
Carlton Towns don't say nothing to nobody.
Okay.
He didn't even want to run up in there and break it up. Like, you got this big guy messing with your going to put your teammate in the head like, Cat, where are you at?
And you switching Gatorade.
But we got Johnny Manziel. He's offering to help Texas A&M in any capacity after Jimbo Fisher firing. So former Texas A&M star Johnny Manziel believes he can helped the Aggies football team in his next chapter of the program, fired their head coach on last Sunday. So the 2012 Heisman Trophy winner tweeted on Monday that he is willing to support the team in any way he can. Fisher was dismissed with a 45-25 record in 6 seasons with the Aggies, who are now 6-4 this season. Johnny Manziel tweeted, I have faith in the @Tamu leadership to put somebody in place to get us where we need to be. The pieces for success are in the building. However, I can help in any capacity. I would love nothing more, with the thumbs up emoji.
What is he gonna help with?
Money, NIL deals.
Okay.
I mean,
is Johnny Manziel still that cash cow though?
I think the family name is in Texas. Didn't his family own like a car dealership or something like that? Right. I mean, because his family already had money, right? Yeah. So, if anything, does he? I don't know if he still has those relationships or not. But
I mean, he has
the
to
name still
have
rings
them
in that area.
Yeah, he has to still have them.
Yeah.
I think he did well enough for that university. But again, what is he gonna help with?
Something.
I mean, if it's a goal to show your quarterback how to throw to the other team, I mean,
that ain't it.
He probably
Losing.
He probably could help with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else he's gonna help with.
All right, so video surveillance hasn't shown a hit and run involving 76ers Kelly Oubre Jr. So surveillance footage has yet to emerge showing Philadelphia 76ers wing Kelly Oubre Jr. an alleged hit and run that has sidelined him indefinitely, according to Max Marine and the Philadelphia Inquirer. So Oubre told police he was walking in the city center district of downtown Philly when a vehicle struck him with his driver's side mirror as he was crossing the street. However, Philadelphia police sergeant said in a statement that the department recently does not have any video or photographic evidence that depicts this collision. So Wednesday night, TMZ posted a video showing Kelly Oubre Jr. Lurching into his apartment following alleged hit and run incident that took place over the weekend. So that was from his Ring video camera. Let's see the video.
For real, Kenny? Oh my God, he got hit by a car, son. He got hit by a car. For real, Penny? Oh my God, he got hit by a car.
I mean, no matter what was questioned after when this report came out, of course, there's no video footage. He has broken ribs or bruised ribs or something. Your initial reaction to things as you're walking in the house, if something really happened, that's your family. You're gonna tell them, like, hey, and then you're gonna figure out what to do from there. Like, you're not gonna just say, "Oh, I got hit by a car" while you're walking in the house. You're gonna say, "Hey, man, they jumped me, man. Let's excuse me."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, nah, you definitely gonna walk in and I mean he did exactly what you would do. Like you leading with the what was wrong.
Yeah.
And especially if you hurt, like, yeah, I could see him walking in, but it was just funny seeing people, like, once the cops announced that they couldn't find, where he got hit by a car, and people was calling him Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
So that was funny. But I was reading the thing where people were saying, like, he's new to the city, so he may not know exactly what intersection he was at. So I don't know if the police knew what exact camera to look at, but this is odd. Like, this is really odd, but I mean, hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, and it's interesting because so many people in Philly like ride bikes and ride motorcycles and dirt bikes and things in the street, and we don't hear about it. I don't know if it happens, but we don't hear about folks getting hit.
I'm sure it happens. Because I think I saw some people comment that's like a very terrible intersection too. So I don't know. This is just an odd story because you would expect some kind of like traffic cam to like see him.
True. All right, Lee Summit North Rockhurst football coaches sound off on blown call in playoff game. So Rockhurst High School defeated Lee Summit North 24-21 in a playoff game last week. However, the one play in the second quarter is getting most of the attention. So footage shows that officials made a mistake in a touchdown that was called for Rockhurst. Let's see what happened. Video courtesy of our friends at KNBC 9 News.
Well, it's a lot quieter than everybody thought it would be here at Lee Summit North today, and that's because the football season is over. But there's a lot of disappointment, especially after what happened in that end zone Friday night. Just before halftime, this is the play that everybody's talking about. Officials called it a touchdown, tying the game at 14.
People think that ended the game, and it was a second quarter play deep in their territory. There's a pass interference call. We would have had the ball in really good field position with first down. I'd hope we could have scored on that series. We were moving it really well.
It was not a touchdown, but at the same time, it was right before half. We played a whole football game after the whole second half after that. So, and we even took the lead at one point in the third quarter. And so, kudos to them. Rockhurst, Coach Kelly and his team, they did a really good job, and they're moving on.
Mosey and Donahoe are both highly respected coaches of high-powered teams, and they agree sometimes the ball just
sometimes the ball just doesn't go your way. But I feel like, and a friend of the show, Coach Mosey, he said it. I mean, he said it right. He's like, it happened going into the second half. We had a whole other half, to make sure that we played it well enough to win the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that'll change the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
And especially when you have very young players, teenagers, it's tough to overcome that type of adversity because now you feel like the refs are against you. And that's a tough feeling to have because, I mean, even when we were playing, like, it was tough to have that feeling of, oh, the refs are cheating.
Yep.
Like, and especially when there's multiple things that don't go your way. Like, you could miss a pass interference call. You could miss a holding. Like, stuff like that really doesn't affect the game a whole lot unless it happens a lot. But then for something as, I mean, obvious as this, like, you could see the ball and there's multiple camera angles.
I mean, you can't, high school football, you can't go back.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, but I'm saying we saw multiple angles of cell phone video.
Yeah, and you had the ref there, but I feel like the ref was looking at the pass. I guess the pass interference call. That's what it was. and he was throwing in the middle of throwing his flag. You saw the ball drop, and all the ref probably is looking to catch his flag. And a split second is probably what he missed. However, there's other refs. I believe that was the white hat, the back judge.
He's the one that was calling it incomplete.
Hoping to alert, high school footballs around the country to be able to get a review system in place for future and only playoffs, which I feel like makes sense.
It makes sense, but I don't think it happens. I mean, these school districts are scraping money together, and we could barely pay teachers, but we want to put forth some finances to the side to make sure football games have replay.
Rockhurst got it. Rockhurst got it.
Yeah, but what about the other
Rockhurst got it?
What about the other 100 districts in the state?
And it'd be on not the districts. I feel like it would be on the Missouri State High School Athletic Association. They would have to take the cameras or even hire out a crew.
And so who's gonna do that? And then
they got it. They got.
I mean, yeah, but so how many high school football games do you think happen within the Kansas City metro area at one time
for playoffs?
No,
I'm just talking for playoffs.
Oh, for playoffs?
Just for playoffs, not for every game. I'm just talking just for games that mean something.
But again, you're
thinking of 3 to 4 weeks of probably in the city. I would say
8-9 games, maybe 10 games,
maybe 10 games for the first week, and then it lessens out. So you're thinking of maybe 20 games, maybe.
But again, where's the money going to come from? And I mean,
Missouri State High School Athletic Association, they got it.
But also the camera crews that you need with the experience. Like we're thinking about the NFL and college, where they have these stadiums that hold 1 million people, and those 1 million people are pitching in.
Meta says Pat Mahomes got
it. And I don't think he's trying to spend any of that money so y'all can see replay for high school football.
Right.
So, yeah. That's one of those costs that I think people take for granted. Like, yes, we see it in the NFL, but I mean, how much money do you think the NFL spends per game on production teams? Exactly.
A lot. And so we see the money coming in from for commercials and things. That money goes to a lot of that goes.
And
to
so we're gonna take that level of production and put
no. You don't need that level of production. You just need a couple of cameras on the end zone.
Okay.
You see me and you out there with a camera.
You definitely don't see me out there because my attention span.
All right, since we're talking about sidelines and replays and football, one of the hosts for used to be an NFL sideline reporter, Charissa Thompson, she apologized after saying she fabricated NFL sideline reports, facing a mountain of criticism. So Fox Sports and Amazon Prime Video Thursday Night Football host has apologized after saying she used to make up her reports when working as a sideline reporter earlier in her career. So speaking on the Part of My Take podcast, which was released last Wednesday, Thompson admitted to fabricating reports. So she said sideline reporters relay information they have received from players and coaches throughout NFL games to provide additional color for broadcast. So let's hear what she had to say because there's a lot to unpack.
There is a reason that I'm no longer a sideline reporter, and I say this to Aaron Andrews all the time. I'm like, you prep all week long. You have all these calls with players, you have all these calls with coaches, you have all this for 15 to 20 seconds. And then half the time it's not even on camera.
Right.
It's just like a report. So I'm like, the amount, the ROI on the amount of work that you put in versus what you actually see, I give them so much respect. And there's a reason that I don't do that anymore either.
Yeah, I would just freeze every time they sent it to me. Be like, wait, I'm on? Okay. And they'd be like, all right, that's all the time.
Time's up. Yeah. Joe, back to you.
The details with like how you hold the mic. Each reporter's got like a different grip on it. Do I go 2 finger? Do I go 3? Do I do the extended pinky? Like which way? You have to make sure that the mic flag is pointed directly at the camera. And there's a lot of red meat too because it's like a break in the action. So if you screw up anything, that's all anybody talks about for the next 5 minutes on Twitter.
It's a big, where's the upside? Like you're only going to fail in that situation.
Yeah, I just talked to Mike Tomlin. He says that we need to go out in the second half and compete.
I've said this before, so I haven't been fired for saying it, but I'll say it again. I would make up the report sometimes because the coach wouldn't come out at halftime or it was too late. And I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report. So I was like, I'm just going to make this up because first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on third down. We need to stop turning the ball
Pressure
over.
the quarterback.
Exactly. and do a better job of getting off the field. Like they're not going to correct me on that.
Right.
So I'm like, it's fine. I'll just make up the report.
Us. I mean, it's a lot.
I'm weak at the comment.
A lot of people are acting like it doesn't matter.
Anything with me. That's crazy.
But when you're in journalism, you have to accurately report. But I mean, I'll take this moment to give a round of applause to the most important Taylor in football, and that's Taylor Rooks. Just for how well she does the job on those Thursday night broadcasts. But with all of that said, I mean, when you have your Pam Olivers, your Josina Andersons and things like that, like the bar for entry is a lot higher for Black women in media altogether. And for her to come on there and to say like she just made up stories, like then why do you have a job? Like go do something else. Like there's something else that you could do. Like there's people that actually care about not only the game but the job of journalism, and it doesn't matter if it's 15 seconds. Like she said, you spent all week, you spent a whole week talking to staff from a football team, GMs, coaches, players, the whole nine, and you can't come up with 15 seconds as a journalist.
And it's more or less when she talked about when they go into halftime, of course. And for people that don't know what sideline reporters do, you know, they are supposed to paint the picture of things that we cannot see on, or just the general public cannot see on camera during the game. So if we talk about Joe Burrow, let's say Joe Burrow, you know, he hurt his wrist. Well, they have a earpiece in their ear and the mic, and they're able to talk directly with the truck. The truck then relays the message. Charissa Thompson said, you know, Joe Burrow has a wrist. Let's pan the camera on his wrist. And she's talking to them while we're not even hearing any of that. That's painting the picture. And then fast forward to halftime. So after coming out of halftime or during halftime in the tunnel, they're standing there. They're able to talk to the coach before they go out to the field. Like, hey, Andy Reid, what can you do to, you know, get a win, you know, after halftime? What are you seeing? Coach Reid will say, oh, we need to do things on third down. We need to do Patrick Mahomes need to do blah, blah, blah. And she reports that as the third quarter is getting started. Well, for whatever reason, she couldn't get to those coaches, or they just didn't want to talk. And so she made up what she felt like that they would say, depending on whatever. Now, there's no integrity. And like, you got to me, as a journalist and as a speaking just from being in that on that stage, right? You can't say that. You can't do that, because not only whether it's Black women, white women, Black men, Black white men, right? Like there's not only women are sideline reporters, but men are as well. And people already think that journalists are liars anyway. They already think that, oh, well, they're not telling the truth. This just helps them double down on their case.
No, yeah, because you saw that you could go and look at a lot of the comments under their posts, and you start seeing a lot of people bringing up Fox News and CNN and MSNBC.
Exactly. So it's like, what else are they lying? What else are they lying about? So now I feel like this is something that what Tyreek Hill says, it doesn't need to be said.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do think that she's going to take some heat, and the heat that she's taking is what she's supposed to get, right? Because this is something that it takes away from actual journalism.
And the weirdest thing is, I don't know if she's employed or.
Oh yeah, she works for Thursday Night Football. Like she's the host.
So she's still working.
Oh yeah, she's still. You'll see her next Thursday.
I mean, she shouldn't have a job, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, and the thing about it too is, and we've seen some of the sideline reporters come out and say, "Man, it's taken away from us. Like this is taken away from what we actually do because we aren't doing that. We're going to get to the coach, and we're respected enough to get to those coaches and talk to them during halftime."
And I think that's the word I was looking for when I started going down the line of like naming like black women, because it's that respect.
Yeah.
I think as a journalist, you're fighting for respect. Like you're fighting for the respect of the coaches to say, hey, pause, give me 30 seconds, a minute of your time, and coaches, they don't every second counts for them, every minute. And I mean, we talked about.
That's why I like Justina Anderson, because she's gonna demand her respect and she'll talk to anybody.
Yeah, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially when women in the game of football, it's the respect is hard to come by.
Yep.
So respect is a big thing. So.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasoning to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Back in on the W Show. Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Let's get to our Hate It or Love It segment.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It. Hate it. If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, first up with our sneakers of the week. We've got the Air Jordan 3 women's off Noor. Those are kind of cool. I wish they had them in men because I need some black shoes.
You can get them in men.
You can
Still
still get them.
It's like a 12.5 converted.
I like those. I don't know. Then Air Jordan 4 Craft medium olives.
I actually like
those.
These.
Are cool.
Do you? I just don't like
actually like these. Yeah.
No, I like the fabric. That's the thing I like about it.
And my favorites of the week: Nike Dunk Low Anthracites. Those are pretty fire.
I like the bottom. The bottom's really cool.
Yeah, they fire. Another black and kind of grayish shoe. And then the DTLR and collab with with New Balance 9060 fire signs.
I'm a New Balance guy,
like
so
these.
Those are hard.
Yeah, all right.
You like those?
I'm a New Balance guy.
I don't. Roderick's a low-key Chiefs fan, but it's okay.
How does that even correlate?
They're red and yellow. Red and yellow.
More orange than anything.
Yeah, that's orange, Steve.
I know. You got a little bit of yellow.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of yellow.
The reach.
Anyway, Tom Brady, he bet CJ Stroud that Michigan will beat Ohio State, and if he loses, he will give him one of his Super Bowl rings. So NFL legend Tom Brady made a bet with Texans rookie CJ Stroud. If Ohio State beats Michigan next Sunday, Stroud will get one of Brady's 7 Super Bowl rings. If Michigan beats Ohio State, Brady said he wants to receive CJ Stroud's youth, agility, 40 time, and future years in the NFL.
Hey, let's go Michigan.
It's like making a deal with the devil.
You taking that bet?
No.
Let's go Michigan, man.
All right, Trevon Diggs wants his brother Stephon Diggs to move on from Buffalo after 14 after loss. So Bills, Trevon Diggs said to 14 got to get up out of there. Hate it or love it.
I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
He's only using his brother as a go because I'm sure you're not gonna say anything that's gonna be detrimental to the team.
Look, because I've been saying the same thing about Justin Jefferson. Free him.
Okay. Jason Tatum's dad takes over NBL team, and he's gonna be their head coach. Hate it or love it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. Love it.
All right, Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown said he's shocked upon learning his nephew's favorite NFL player is Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson. So a couple of weeks ago, Brown posted that his nephew prefers Justin Jefferson over him. And he said that's a low blow coming from a family member. Jefferson, he said somebody's going to have to buy this kid his Christmas gifts this year. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Yeah, that in family rivalry. I love it.
All right, so Miami Heat hired franchise cornerstone Udonis Haslem as vice president of basketball development.
Man, let it go.
They made
Sit
up a
down,
position,
bro.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean UD, he's Mr. Basketball in Miami. I feel like
keep those checks coming. I get it.
Sit down.
You've been getting them for almost 20 years.
All right, so roof collapses at arena of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy's new indoor golf league in Florida. So a new indoor golf league backed by Tiger Woods. And Rory isn't off to the best start. The roof collapsed because of a power failure.
Sheesh. That's bad, especially when you just open.
Yeah.
So yeah, sets that project back. I know the investors.
Of course it did. Of course it did. That's right. We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Remember to interact with us, use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. And we want to say happy Thanksgiving because we'll be back next Saturday, which is after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely. We should be excited. We should all be full and maybe bring some leftovers to the show.
I'll pay great money for a pan of dressing.
All right, until next week, we're out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.